Right, so hello everyone. Welcome to Monday night, and we're here with GRL Division 6, round 19, and it's China. We are looking forward to a sprint race around here, so it's going to be a short qualifying session, followed by a 10-lap sprint race, followed by the usual 50%, which is 28 laps. Don't know, at the moment we've just got a 13 on the grid, but I don't know if there's any join-in. Don't know if there's any join-in from joining qualifying sort of thing. Yeah, so we'll see. I think just before we get into qualifying, we're just waiting for any last minute people and the call to go out. But just while we're waiting for that, I'll just bring us up to date with the championship now. Echo won the Drivers' Championship last week, so it's a huge congratulations to Echo on his Drivers' Championship. But the constructor standings is completely open still. So remember, GRL does use the usual standard point system, like they do in real life, and that obviously means it's a maximum of 43 points, although with fastest lap you can get 44, of course, so I suppose a maximum of 44 available. A few rounds still left to go, 3 races still left to go. Aston Martin currently lead the way, 329. Haas are in P2 on 311. Then we drop down a little bit in points, 51 points behind that on 260 is Mercedes, followed by Alfa Romeo, who are 13 points behind that, and then Alpine, who are just 3 points behind Alfa Romeo on 244. So constructors very much still to play for if Mercedes were to manage. You can see they got 2 drivers tonight, so if they could actually manage a double podium, they put themselves right back into the mix without a shadow of a doubt. So that would be pretty cool. To have a look at the drivers, obviously it's not all about just who wins it, but so Echo is our champion. Then we've got Ludlow is in P2, but I don't think he's able to make it tonight. I think I actually saw that somewhere. So he's obviously vulnerable. He's on 154. 10th Cannon is in 3rd, and he is with us tonight. He's on 143, so 11-point gap there. 10th Cannon will obviously want to reduce that down, or possibly even go into P2 if we can. Vitax is then on 134 with JT on 131. So to be quite honest, any of those guys, Ludlow, 10th Cannon, Vitax, or JT, any of those could end in any order in 2nd and 3rd, for the silver and bronze if you like. So see, I think we're just waiting for someone. I'm not sure. Yeah, we just got somebody else, but they are joining. They're literally coming. Should jump in the lobby any second. Silks, by the looks of it. So we get to 14, and then obviously anybody else that's running late will have to join in quali if there is anyone. Slightly disappointing not to see Echo. Should we fine him a load of points, guys, so that he hasn't won the championship for not turning up? Wins the championship, then doesn't turn up. So let's just fine him like 50 points, and then it's all back on again, isn't it? So, to be fair, actually, it needs to be about 100 points, really, to make him back on. Someone's actually just dropped out. We're waiting for somebody to join, and somebody's actually just dropped out. We've gone down to 12. Okay, yes, temp cannon. Someone did get disconnected, but I don't know who it was. So, heading into qualifying then. Hopefully whoever it was who disconnected has just joined back in. Oh, there's somebody. What does that say? I can't even read that. Right then. Some details up. Obviously it's soft tires, don't need to keep that on. So China. What do we say about China? Obviously not actually on the calendar at the moment in real life, but it was added to the game as a bit of DLC after release. So along with Portimao, and it's a decent track. It's I don't know, where would you put it on difficulty? I think the game rates it as hard on difficulty, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd say it was hard or not, but a good lap time around here for qualifying would be a sort of mid to low 32. I expect a mid 32 for pole today. I could be wrong, but we'll see how we go. Obviously, the actual pole position will be decided by the sprint race anyway, but first out of the track we got Apex. So I think I'll look to do the hilly hot lap with Apex when he comes round. So without Echo here, it opens up the field a little bit though. There's plenty of fast drivers as well. GLR's absolutely full of fast drivers. These guys are fast in the Division 6, so you know the actual league is full of them. Absolutely rapid drivers. So I'm interested to see what they manage tonight. I think pole's likely to be a mid 32. So not sure on that. So this massive long back straight is easily the big overtaking opportunity of the track. There is another overtaking opportunity almost straight away actually onto the pit straight, which we're going on to here, and then down to turn 1 is obviously a big opportunity as well. As that F1 fan joins, I don't know who that is, but yeah. Anyway, oh, I forgot to go on board to do the hilly hot lap, but it doesn't matter. Apex has a little spin. Somebody else, here we go then. So here's the Williams of Ed. And turn 1. Strange kind of corner. You just throw the car in, gear down to 6, throw the car in, and then just gradually gear down. Sort of engine brake, really. Not many corners you do that on in this year's game, but that's definitely one of them. Now, got to be a bit careful on exit. It is slippery. Right to the right for the little kink in the road. Fully to the left, ideally, to open up this corner. And it's about getting on the power. Let's take us up to this very fast left-hander. Ideally, you want to be set up so you can stay full power through this left-hander. Spend as much time as you can. Throw the car again into the right-hander. You can brake so late into the corner. Stay in 5th, really, then down to 4th for the 2 left-handers. Gearing up to 5th for the exit to give you a better traction. And late braking for this left-hander. Down to 2nd, then quick. Ideally, you want to be shifting up and coming through round here, sort of 5th, 6th gear. Just allows you to get the power fully down. Only first lap, so adjust a little bit. DRS open, down the main straights, head up to the hairpin. Keep the car to the left again, turn in. You can take a lot of curb, but there's so many different ways you can take that hairpin. You can do a sort of switchback type move as well. They're very similar. There's no real advantage of one over the other. So, in a way, Ed gets us underway with a 134.9. Seen at the start of his lap. Oh, that's an invalidation there from NASCAR. A couple more coming round. Who's this? This is JT and the Aston Martin. That's the line 133.1, so we're very close to the 132s already. Luke Boy 134.2, Shotmaker 36.6. Apex is back onto a lap, of course. Double left-hander. Very difficult. I don't think there's really another corner like that in the game. It's this corner's similar, but not the way you got to kind of open it up and get on the power. But you catch too much curb on the inside or the outside, it spins you around. So you've got to be so careful. Same with that right hand on the game, because it does offer some opportunities that other tracks don't offer, really. So, you know, some corners is like I'm being kicked. Well, I hope this doesn't start this again. It's I've had an absolute nightmare over the weekend with being kicked from lobbies doing comms. Not any obvious problems there, to be honest. I don't know what's happened really. Get back in as quick as I can. Go, join back in. There we go then, sit back into the lobby. Who's doing what? Apex is already back out on an outlap. Still in pit just as we were being kicked, so here's someone on a hot lap. And into the pits for Seagull. Attacks. Purple's the first sector. Well, you can't always trust that. When a driver's not already got a time on the board, you can't always trust the graphic going purple. So it's just a case of waiting to see if it was an accurate graphic or not. The fact that JT's already down to a 33.1, we've got Apex on a 33.5, I think we're definitely pushing towards those 32s. This is where I expect the pole position to be, sort of mid 32s. Like the DRS then. Tax was a winner last week. Had an absolutely superb race. Really did. So it'd be interested to see if we could do it again this week. Obviously, Echo was a big rival last week at France, but not with us tonight. As Tax goes into P4 on a 34.3. It's a track that takes some getting used to. As I say, the game does rate it as a hard track, so, you know, as I say, it does give up some challenges that you don't generally see on any other tracks of the calendar. That long right-hander going onto the straight is definitely one of them. And, Michael Schumacher, obviously the absolute greatest driver of all time. If you don't agree with that, you still got to agree that he's up there somewhere. But he actually stated that China is the worst circuit ever created. Did you know that? That was he hated this track. As Harry goes into P2 on a 33.3. Nice start to the session from Harry. Down to Luge. In the Mercedes, like I said, a really good opportunity for Mercedes this evening. Pass missing a driver. bit wide there on the exit, but doesn't invalidate, keeps it going. Has a little wobble through the long right-hander as well, but again, keeps it going nicely. I'd love to get a time on the board here. It's, oh, it's backed out. So maybe you wouldn't love to get a time on the board. Let's go to his teammate then. A lot earlier in the lap. Oh, he goes. Car absolutely loses it, and out comes the back end, and round he goes. Luckily, no wall there. Massive runoff area, so just get going again. Absolutely no damage whatsoever. Switch to NASCAR, who's in the AlphaTauri and going up the back straight. Well over 200 miles an hour, the cars should be able to get to up here. It's 1.8 kilometers long, that back straight, I believe it is. Don't ask me how I know that. It was on a quiz the other day. I can't remember where I did it to, but it was on a quiz the other day. Here we go. Into P8 in a way for NASCAR on a 135.2. Well, having had that spin, is he going to do another lap or back into the pits? Go around again. So 3 drivers at the moment without times on the board. I really don't. The Red Bull currently in P12. I'm really not sure how to say that name. Eichson or Eichsan? Outson? I've no idea. I've been all night trying to work that one out. So this strange corner. It's late braking. I tend to find that it's best to sort of shift down to third, brake down into third, and then sort of downshift a second just as you're going into the corner to help with the turn in, but then short shift up to fourth for the exit. So, it is an odd corner. Comes in onto the back straight once again. JT into the 32s then. It's 32.9. As well through the final corner. Goes over the line. 132.9 as well, goes fastest. 900ths ahead of JT. A nice lap, 2 drivers into the 32s. Go to, I really don't know how to say this, but Outzan, I'm going to call him Outzan. Outzan. Auz. Auz. I don't know. Sounds like something I'd take when I got hangover in a way, to try and get rid of it. Oh no, it's Alcazan, isn't it? Oh no, that's Alcazan. Oh, okay. The hairpin just gets a little touch of oversteer, but it wasn't bad. Final corner takes it nicely across the line to a 135.5. Currently has him in P11. Luge in the pit, only driver now not to have a time on the board, although Segal's is not a proper time as such. He's on a lap here. Just about avoids the invalidation, comes across the line 33.9 in the Ferrari, puts himself into P6. Nicely done from Segal. The Red Bull getting out of his way, but obviously doesn't know he's not in a hot lap. Flaps back out there, but on an out lap. a little bit of trouble there, taking out one of the advertising boards. That should be coming around to start the lap, I believe. I think this might have been an aborted lap because he's on like 90% energy roughly. So I think he's coming around to have another go. Yeah, it's last week's race winner. So, 10th cannon. Tyres for the session. That is in the pits, so he's just decided he's had enough for qualifying. So effectively this is the qualifying for qualifying. See what I mean? Because we've got the sprint race. It's a little bit wobbly. It's a nice exit out of two left-handers. It's just ever so slightly down. A bit wide into the left-hander. And very wide through the right-hander. Not going to help. And that's an invalidation. Who's behind here? NASCAR, who is 8.5 tenths up on his PB. Taking him down to the low 34s, which will be challenging for sort of 7th, 8th, 9th place. Find a bit more, he may be able to push Segal, who's on a 33.9. Cross line 1.3 improvement. Yep, 33.8 goes ahead of Segal into P6. Nice, we got Alton into the pits. Bell on an outlap. That's as well of Apex on an outlap. They're going to have a pole position battle by the looks of it. That's Ed as well. And the other driver as well. Yep, they're all on outlaps. Lovely, so let's go to Shotmaker. It looks like he's the furthest round. Right there. Well, it's the end of sector 2. What's the split time like? And he's 2 tenths down. A lot of time can be made up through this corner. Taking it pretty nicely, so he may have made some time up there. Maybe done with being a bit more on the inside, but he's still taking it very nicely as the time runs out on us. It's a bit wide on the hairpin. I think he's gained some time, is he? Across the line yet, yeah, does gain a bit, 800s to P8. Through the McLaren man, head slightly down. Well, a quarter of a second up. He is the first of the 4 drivers. Apex is improving as well, but not by as much. Nice and down through the final corner. Here comes Quell then, and it's a 32.5. Well, I promised you a mid 32 for pole. Can't get much closer than that. Apex crossed the line to a 32.6 into P2. Harry for the line here. I didn't see the time. He is 4th then. After the countdown in just a second. As I say, it's effectively the qualifying for the qualifying. But Quell takes the pole position for the sprint race with a 1:32.551. Apex P2 for Haas. Second row for JT and Aston Martin. Harry for Williams in P4. 10th Cannon of Alpine P5. NASCAR in 6 for AlphaTauri. Segal in 7, while Shotmaker fills out the 4th row in P8. Luke Boy P9. Vatax fills out the top 10. And Ed in P11. Alxon in 12. I'm never going to get that name wrong without being told exactly what it is. Luge, unfortunately, unable to get a time on the board. But, as I say, the real qualifying is still to come with the sprint race. Plenty of time to improve their actual positions for the start of the main feature race. So it's a 10-lap sprint race. It will be medium tyres, guys. It's absolutely no way. If you use softs, they will die on you. It's a very high wear circuit. It's China, so it is actually possible that we could potentially see 2 stops in the race. Not everyone. Most will do 1 stops, I'm sure. It's just, but it is possible that you could see a 2 stop. I'm actually looking forward to see a bit of strategy. I'm actually racing China myself on Wednesday and Thursday this week, so it's quite good for me really to be doing a comms on China on a Monday to see how some of the strategy works out. Might help me out. As somebody hits the button, so we getting quickly into the sprint then. And I presume after the sprint we'll have a little break. So yeah, it should just be mediums straight through. Interesting turn 1 here as well. It's not like other turn 1s. It's such a fast sweeping corner. Something we really see as they head on to the formation lap. So just double check that everybody's got mediums on. There is one exception. Vatax has put hards on. Not sure why he's gone with hards, but perhaps chose the harder selection. Wants to keep 2 sets of mediums available for the race, perhaps. Not entirely sure, but yeah, having 2 sets of mediums available for this race may not be the worst of ideas in all fairness. So Williams behind him, Ed has a little spin. So, sprint race is a new feature in the game. So, who's that? Is somebody go flying off in the background there, or did I just see that? Seeing things. Nobody seems to be off, so... yeah, gonna be interesting next season. Obviously, there's a mixture of route leagues. A lot of leagues do short qualifying. There's plenty of leagues out there that do the full qualifying. But I think for next year's game, it's going to be interesting because of the way that qualifying is done in real life now, where they have to use the hard tyres in Q1, mediums in Q2, and softs in Q3. What will leagues do? Because it's just a bit different. It kind of takes away from the experience of it if you only do a short session, really. But, I guess it depends on the league and what night they're racing on, things like that, because obviously if it's a school night, then people going to work the next day, etc., they're more likely to want to do a short, maybe a weekend, evenings, more happy to stay up and do a full quali, I guess. Going around to finish the formation lap. So, our host this evening is Ed. Where did Ed qualify? Where is he? It's P11. Go on board, and I'll quickly move back up to the front. Just want to see what his start's like. You usually get a host advantage at the moment. Is quite a big thing in the game that needs fixing. Whether they're going to bother with being so close to the release of the next game, I'm not sure. Time for the lights to come on. Are we stuck? There we go. Oh, Ed's disappeared. Ed's been kicked. That's never a good thing if you lose the host. Sending him an invite. Sorry about that, guys. Apex gets off to a good start into P1. Well, down to 2. JTP 3, NASCAR in 4, Seagal into 5. Some things going on a bit further down. The taxis off track, Shotmakers round. We both have to return to the track. Well, looks to get after Apex to try and get that P1 back if we can. So, particular point in the race, you don't really, even in a sprint race, you don't. It's quite important to save your energy in the early sort of stages. You're going to want it for making overtaking manoeuvres or defensive manoeuvres later on, but it does use some energy here. It goes to the inside, does Quell. Plenty of room left by Apex, but not able to make the move stick. Here they come, round the long right hander onto the straight. Apex looks to have the better straight line speed, or at least they've got the better exit. Now moves over to take the slipstream. Bit of pressure coming from JT behind him as well. Ooh. Ferrari there on a bit of a launch. NASCAR. He's a bit lucky not to make contact with anyone, but he didn't. But NASCAR's going to get a run on him. The Ferrari just runs off wide in the exit, but again, the Ferrari seems to have a better straight line speed than the AlphaTauri. Long, winding right-handers. Such an interesting corner. Then looks to make his way up the field a bit. Dead back with us. So. No, he's not back with us. To the two leaders. Obviously, DRS will activate on the next lap. Next time they cross the line. No DRS on the long straight this time round, but next time we will. And obviously, it's such a long straight, it is a big DRS zone. Just letting Ed know, I don't think he realises that he's desynced. I think he's probably still racing on his own, not realising what's happened. So, stay the same. Apex leading from Quell. JT following close behind as well, and also closely followed by Seagal and NASCAR. 5 all within a second of each other. Aikzan first to pick up a penalty for this evening. Oh, he's back with us. Okay, no worries. And actually, didn't see his name come up, so I didn't realise he joined back. Excellent. Well, not ideal for him, obviously 6 seconds off at the back because of the desync, but at least he's back in the lobby. Whether they'll do a restart between the sprint and the main race, it does cause issues sometimes when the host desyncs. So it may be worth just avoiding any issues by doing a lobby restart. I don't know. We'll see what they do. So Luke Boy makes a move on Harry. Around the outside at turn 1. Harry keep it to the inside. Ultimately, that's the shortest way round, so he manages to defend it. Luge picks up a 5-place penalty for a corner cut, which is it's unusual. Oh, and Luge is round. I think Luke Boy couldn't avoid him. I think he's hit him. See got any damage Luke Boy he has. He's lost an end plate. You need to slow down a lot for that quick left-hander when you've lost your right end plate, Luke. Right, Harry's going slow, so I think he's probably sustained damage as well. So unfortunately, the driver in front just spun. They were so close, they couldn't avoid him. So Zan had a 10th cannon. Onto the straight. Oh, just not able to get close enough on the gearbox of Apex. It's not like Carl's maybe running a bit higher downforce than those directly around him, which is obviously going to make it a bit more difficult to overtake. When you're doing that, it's important to do what Carl's doing. He's holding on to his energy, he's not using it. He does have the highest amount of energy of the top 3, not by much, they've all got a lot of energy. So he needs to take advantage of that extra downforce and get on the gearbox of Apex so that you can force Apex into using some energy. Oh, we got a retirement. Oh, that's in the pits. So that'll mean Harry will start from the back in the feature race. Stay with these guys. There was a close battle a minute ago, but the driver who was on the back of the car ahead's fallen off. Just look at a Shotmaker, who's very close to the back of Attacks now. Oh, goodness me, he was almost in the back of Attack then. This looks like it could well be an opportunity if he could stick close to the gearbox. Steve Attack is wide in the left-hander. Obviously attacking front, so he's getting on the power that a little bit earlier and he moves away, but this looks close enough to me. Should be done before the braking zone pretty much. Attack goes deep into the corner. He's leave room on the exit and does, and Attack actually defends that very well. I thought he'd ran too deep, if I'm honest. But didn't. He held it and just about got round the corner okay. And sees off Shotmaker on that attempt. I don't think... It's only going to take Shotmaker to be that little bit closer going on to the long straight. And he'd have it done way before the braking zone, so... Might feel he's got an opportunity here down to turn 5, I think it is. Ooh, way too deep. Short. Oh, dear me. That wasn't great from Attack. Shotmaker couldn't be any deeper in the corner. He ran very, very deep in the corner. Attack. I only assume he's missed his braking or something. Still, they give us battle. A bit far back on that one. Then it's Segal. Segal gets ahead of Oaksan into P6. Wishing they would take it happens elsewhere when watching this one. Should be another opportunity. I don't think he's as close this time, so this might be a bit more of the late breakers sort of opportunity. Here we go. To make the inside of the corner. Does very nicely. And widens his exit as well. Now that just Blocks off the sort of comeback from Fatak. Perfectly legal, no contact made. Just good driving. And this time, Shotmaker gets his man, and into P9 he goes. Now, that's two drivers up the road. These two could stop battling and concentrate more on catching the drivers up the road. The two drivers in front have both got penalties. And we know that Lou's definitely got a 5 second. So he is catchable. Luke Boy sets fastest lap. He's going around at the back at the moment, P12. He's had to pit. So having a bit of fun. Just double check. I assume he's pitted to a set of softs, is he? Yeah. So here, single side there. That is Apex and Quell. That's for the lead. See, Quell's got DRS open. You can see he's definitely using a higher downforce. Even with DRS open and energy, he's struggling to get through. And as you can see, Apex has around about 30% more energy now, so it's very significant. So, oh, there's a big crash. Something's happened. We've lost oh my goodness me, 3 drivers. An absolute huge smashed up. That was just after the hairpin and leading down to the final corner. Massive crash. And no safety car. I don't think it's too late. I think, yeah, we're on lap 8, so I don't think one can come out anyway. It's close to the end. Attack getting back past Shotmaker. Back up to the leaders who are putting on a splendid show for us. Again, we're in the same situation. Look, well, with extra downforce, able to stay on the back of the gearbox, and just doesn't have the straight line speed to get past. With the slipstream, he does catch. It's when he moves out the slipstream that the pace of the two cars sort of levels up. What you would find is if Quell did manage, say, in the main race, if they finish like this and Quell managed to take the lead at the start of the race, it'd make a huge difference. Just a shout out for Ed, by the way, who's managed to fight back up to 6th place now. I know there's been a few retirements to help him, but considering he was 6 seconds off the back when he joined back from the desync, and he's done an absolutely grand job, to be quite honest. It's a free yellow. It's Shotmaker. He's okay. He is moving, so it's already gone green. 61 a long way from this battle, being treated to a splendid bit of racing from these two. Here he comes again then. Yeah, I think quite clever for Quell. He's not really using any energy. He's gearing up for one last big go. One last big push for the final lap. So his Apex just locks up a bit, the right rear. I think it's the right rear anyway, it's one of the rights anyway. Sets a free yellow, and that one's Shotmaker again. Quick gander at that, but he is back going, as you can see. just the sprint race, so we'll have the feature race after this. Hopefully have a quick break in a way, because Billy needs his coffee. Now, so here it is. This is what he was saving for. Oh, that's risky. Yeah, he's trying to get on the energy while still going around the right-hander. I'm getting a load of lag starting to happen for some reason. So, yeah, no, he's out of energy. He's going to have to settle, I think, for a P2. Which is still an absolute grand result, of course. But it's going to be Apex who will come across the line and take victory in the sprint race here at China. And pole position for the feature race, Quell P2. So you see JT caught up to the back of these two quite late on. That's going to be making the feature race interesting. 10th Cannon coming around for P4. While NASCAR takes P5 attack to fight off the attacking shotmaker. Lost that to him at one point, but got back past him. Attacking to P6 then. And Ed's P7, which is absolutely superb when you consider, as I say, when he desynced. When he got back, he was 6 seconds behind the next drivers, so right at the back. So to get, I know there's been some retirements to help him, but to end up getting back up to 7th and even picking himself up a couple of points for the sprint race, of course. So very nicely done. So Ed P7, he even gets driver of the day for the sprint. Look, that's a nice little reward for his efforts. So I was down to Ed, was on P7. So Shotmaker P8 still managed to pick up a point. Luke Boy in P9, and then he was the final finisher. There was a huge accident between Luge, Segal, and Alcazin. And Harry retired in the pits earlier after getting some damage, and he will start from the back, which is not always a bad thing. Starting from the back. Oh, I've tried to do the race director to get any instance, but unfortunately it's just skipped on. Okay, well guys, I'm not 100% sure yet on whether we're going to take a break or anything like that, so just on the basis that in case we don't, I'm going to quickly nip off and grab myself a coffee now so that I don't miss too much. But if we do, then obviously I'll just be back in a few minutes. So I will see you then. Okay guys, back with you. Got me coffee and back for the race start, and it looks like it's wet. So yeah, it's full wet. Oh, I can't even see anything there. Barely see the cars. Okay. Well, full wets then. We'll have to see if it dries up at some point. But at the moment, you can clearly see on screen it is absolutely torrential rain. I'm not sure what is going on further down. Why there is such a big gap between Segal and P11 to P10, I don't know. The guys, towards their slots now, we're going to have very cold tires by the time they all get there. Well, they're finally arriving. Look to get underway. It's 28 laps. We're going to be starting in full wets. We'll have to see if it dries out. As I say, it's going to be tough. 5 lights on, and there's a jump start, and it's the front two, Apex and Quell, have both jumped the start. Which is an absolute nightmare for them. See, a good 20 seconds behind by the time they do that. Well, no, maybe a drive through a bit quicker than that, but stop strategy would suggest that there is going to be one stop. Got the yellow flag. There's stuff going on. I think it's Vatak who's had a little spin. It is indeed 10th Cannon. Moved into P3, but oh goodness me, it's so difficult in these conditions. Doing their best, but it is difficult. There's no doubt about that. It's Ed. Back of 10th Cannon here. Trying his best. So it can become extremely difficult to overtake when it's wet like this. No DRS to aid in overtaking. See if the front two serve their drive-throughs straight away, or if decide to just go on a little bit. Got to serve it within 3 laps, remember, so the 2 Red Bulls have a bit of a battle. Can't see anything now. So, right, San. Just be careful, guys. Come on. Be a bit careful, a bit sensible. See. It's Ed. Oh, and that is Ed, and he's into the wall. Is that going to cause a safety car? I think it is. It may be a virtual. Wow, he went flying across the track into that wall. That's what these conditions do. I think it is a full safety car. As the safety car gets in the way of the Red Bull, be careful, Luke. You're so slow. There he is, so he gets past it, okay. And now they will have to do this lap and form up behind the safety car again. In terms of weather, I mean, obviously we're nowhere near switching down to intermediates yet, so I don't think we're going to see any pit stops. I don't even know if we're going to get to a point where we switch down at all. Who's this? Chaz, hello. Hard enough track in the drive. You're absolutely right, Chaz. It is a difficult track. The game rates it as a hard track. When you do time trial, you can see the how the game rates it, rates the tracks. So and it is rated as hard. Michael Schumacher said this is the worst designed track ever. Worst track ever created. If anybody knows what they're talking about, it's the great Michael. The GOAT. Anyway, he's had a good start, so, well, he's up one, JT's up one, NASCAR up two, Luge up 6 places, 10th Cannon down 1, Harry up 7, Apex, of course, is now down 6, he's into the pits. Now, he's down 6, so this could be that he's got damage. Surely it's not a switch of tyres. Ike Zan retires out of the session in the pits, by the looks of it. I have no idea why he's done that. It's up to individual leagues as to what they do rules-wise with that sort of thing, I know. In my league in ARC, that's been my name, and we don't allow retirements in the pits. Unless you have severe rear wing damage, and then we ask that you clip it, basically, and then you can retire, but that's, I do understand that situation, but that's pretty much it. So, well, leads then. Of course, they got the drive-throughs they've got to serve still as well, haven't they? And I'll be wishing they'd serve those drive-throughs. So, been interesting actually. If they had served the drive-throughs, they'd have come into the pits, presumably would have entered the pit lane, then Ed would have crashed out on the final corner, bringing out the full track yellows while they were going through the pits for the drive-through. So, quite sure what would have happened there. I assume they'd been, as they have already entered the pit lane, I'm assuming they would have been classed as served. But if not, I guess it's just pure bad luck. But yeah, not 100% sure. I guess if they've crossed the actual line, so the pit limiter line, then they're already in the drive-through, so they're already serving it, and therefore that should be classed as served. But if they haven't reached that line, which would have been possible because it is quite a long little road into the pits here, isn't it? So yeah, if they hadn't reached the pit limiter line, it may not have been classed as served. What if one had reached it and the other one hadn't? All sorts of things. Been interesting. So, well, Apex has switched to the intermediates. I think it's a bit on the optimistic side, but see how he fares. Only being, of course, he doesn't. Ideally, he doesn't want to bring the safety car in yet, but he and the 2 drivers ahead haven't yet caught the back of the safety car, but it should be in this lap. Now the 2 drivers ahead have caught the back. As you can see, Roger's coming onto it there. Now, obviously, Apex will not particularly want to bring the safety car in, but I don't think you've really got a choice. I don't think you can really deliberately drive slowly around at the back. I'm not sure the game would penalise it, but the lead might not look kindly on it, so got to sort of play the game. So there's the confirmation, safety car in this lap. And presumably, well, and Apex will be straight into serve, although Quell can't because he's the leader. I think he's still got 2 laps in a way that he can do, potentially. So yeah, for me, at the moment, as it stands, I do think this is very optimistic of Apex to be on Inters at this point. Right, gearing up then to get going. And away we go, out the final corner. As Shotmaker's had a spin. He has indeed. What's going on? Apex didn't pit for it. Oh, hang on, Luge. Come on, you've got to leave room. That was an oldie from Luge. Allen gets out of shape. That allows Harry through. Oh, the Alfa Romeo finding it difficult to brake. So bear in mind the tyres will be cold. Obviously, the wets don't want to be too hot in a way, but it will be a bit cold. Kind of flag there. I actually looked down at the track map. I couldn't see that anything had happened. It may have just been Apex having a little moment, but not too sure. Oh, the Alpine out of shape. Nearly goes off, but manages to save it. And I think we might see a lot more of that as we go. So that's the other problem with this weather, is it just nullifies it a little bit. It's very, very difficult to get an overtake done. I think that's sometimes in the rain where you end up seeing some lunges like this. It wasn't so bad that he did make the corner, to be fair, but I think that's why sometimes you end up seeing things like that, though, because it's so difficult on a straight, so you can end up trying to outbrake each other into corners. No, Shaz. He's into service drive-through now, in a way. So, well, I'm amazed Quell didn't come in to serve his. I think that's brave. He's got to do it this lap. He can't go any more laps. He's got to serve it this lap. I don't think I'd have trusted the game to allow me to do another lap, if I'm honest with you. So, Apex serves it then. Comes out. And a seconds behind the McLaren Shotmaker, but he's 14.5 seconds off. But long way to go. I'm sure there's plenty more going to happen in this race yet. As Gal, there's a moment. I gotta say, maybe this weather is the reason why in the sprint, well, was struggling even with DRS to make any sort of move. Because I think he's set up for this weather, raised the downforce in preparation for the feature race, and it's clearly paying off because he's clearly got very, very good pace. But of course he's got the drive-through. As I say, surely he has to take this lap, doesn't he? So here he comes. I hate this pit entry. Absolutely hate this pit entry. So, into the pits to serve the drive-through. Then for Quell. See, Apex still coming up the back straight, so he's going to be back out well in front of Apex. just behind the Ferrari by the looks of it of Segal. And yeah, he's back out on track now. So, not all that bad. There's a few corners behind the leader of JT now, but clearly has very good pace, Quell, so we'll see how well he can make his way through the field. Then down to Luke Boy. It is Shaz. I think that, yeah, I think that's very, very optimistic for an Apex, to be honest. I guess with the drive-through, maybe, I don't know, I guess it is going to go to Inters at some point. That's why he's done it. He must know that it's going to change, but I think it's a bit of wishful thinking then, because of the drive-through. I think he's trying to, you know, try to make it happen. Hope for a bit of luck. So, just keep an eye on his time. So at the moment, say 17, well, 18 seconds. Then it's just gone to 18, so he's 18 seconds behind Shotmaker. So just keep an eye on that. It's definitely going to be some laps yet. So exciting, isn't it? Little signs though, isn't there, that the drivers are just beginning to get used to the conditions a little bit. Say that, of course, Luge was well wide. Picks up 3 seconds for his trouble on that one. Yeah, for me, definitely little signs that they're just getting used to it now. So, yeah, I did. I've got China on Wednesday and Thursday this week myself. I've done some time trial and did some dry, but I went straight onto wet after and did some wet time trial as well, because it's very it's a high likelihood of rain, isn't it, China? It does rain quite a lot around here. Shotmaker into the pits. He's going to intermediate tyres, despite the fact that driver behind him fell even further behind. Must have had an incident or something, Apex, because he fell to over 20 seconds behind. I think we're getting there. The rain is definitely softer. I think we are on our way to... I don't think we're far away. Looking at the track, the line is definitely drier. So I think either this lap or the lap after, I don't think it's going to be much longer than that. So, they're going to attack. We may have an opportunity here. Some outside. Tiny bit of contact on Williams. Like the door was shutting a little bit on him. So Harry defends it nicely. NASCAR did set fastest lap, then Luge did. The times are coming down, so that's our indication that this track is heading towards it. Proper intermediate tyres now. Set to free yellow. I believe that was Segal who's headed into the pits. So he's going to switch, presumably, to Inters. I believe they'll be able to get to the end of the race on one set of Inters, but of course, it will depend if it actually fully drives out or not. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like this track is ready now. I think Segal's fitting at the right time. He's got to get a bit of heat into us first. Apex gets ahead of Shotmaker. Apex makes his first move to gain a place, and he will get after Segal now. 5.7 seconds up the road. Well, 5 seconds up the road. So attack goes to the outside. Doesn't really make the corner. And Harry will once again defend that off. Surely into the pits. Attack as well. Oh, that was a good job Harry turned in then. Attack's sighting of the braking line would have been really, you know, presuming he uses the racing line for cornering or whatever, then his actual ability to sight that line there would have been completely taken away from him. So, well then, certainly fastest man on the track in my opinion. It was keeping going, making his way through, no doubt. I believe, I mean, what do you think, Shat? I think Quell will make his way back onto the podium. Don't know if he can win the race. That may be a tall order, we'll have to see. This is the big gap now, he's got the move done. Very nice move on 10th cannon. 10th cannon leaves space and defends fairly. But Quell seems to have too much grip for me. I think he's used his head and set up exactly for this weather. So for me now, well, in fact, not for me now. We are at. This track is intermediate track. Look how quickly Harry is gaining on 10th cannon. He's taken half a second out in 2 corners. This track is an intermediate track, without a shadow of a doubt. So surely, well, I am shocked. Luge is in. He nearly crashes going in, but he is in. Well, he's going to carry on. Well, I think these guys are making a mistake. Absolutely destroying the gap ahead of him. This is... The next man up the road is Quell, who we know is the fastest man on track. So if Harry is gaining on Quell, and the early signs suggest he probably is, then we know for an absolute fact that this track is ready. And these top 4, all they're doing is losing time by staying on the wets. If they're thinking in their minds that they're going to stay wet until it gets to absolute full dry, it won't work, guys. It won't work. I know, because I've tried. It doesn't work. Well, gets oversteer with the right-hander, which is another. And now it's probably due to the tyres overheating. A bit oversteer means the gap to Harry now is under 10 seconds. Starved of a battle at the moment, in a way. Things are starting to look very nice for Harry, who, when they pit, just trying to work it out. I'm not sure if he'll actually take the lead off of JT, who is in. JT is in. Might be quite close, you know. NASCAR's in, Luke Boy is in. Well, surely you've got to. Yeah, Quell's in as well. If he'd done it a lap earlier, he'd have gained a nice amount of time on his outlap to the guys ahead. So, JT then on pit exit. Harry is making his way through. Not quite going to get him, but JT will need to get some temperature in his intermediates, so could be an opportunity. I believe the track's going to continue to dry out. You can see it is still raining, so I'm not sure when we're likely to see a dry track, but I think that's what we're going to go towards. Looks to me already like JT's got a pretty good handle on that car. I'm just going to come down at the moment. Luge, who, after all the pit stops, somehow he's ended up in P6. He's dropped a few places through the pit stops. Quick look at Harry up in P2. Genuinely in P2, that is where he is actually in it. You know, that is where he is in this race. And he's up 11 places, having an absolutely superb race. Who's in round on that far ahead now? Fluke Boy. So it's making for a pretty decent, exciting race, isn't it? This weather. Harry into P2 now. I don't know if pace-wise he's really second fastest on the track, but it's put in there. And Segal goes fastest. It's going to make for an interesting rest of this race, I think. We're just sort of approaching the halfway point. This lap and one more and we'll be halfway through. Keeping an eye on Apex is... I think I'm just going to move to Apex, guys. He's catching on to the back of Ferrari of Segal. Determined to catch at least one overtake tonight. So difficult to be in the right place at the right time, but do our best. Oh, there might be one, there might be one. Switch back here from NASCAR. Into the final corner, he's got to go the long way round. I think he's got it. Nicely done. Nicely done from Harry as well. That was really good driving for the pair of them then. Really did show that you can do it, even in these conditions, it can still be done. And Harry's not giving up either. He's having a little look back through turns 1 and 2. Yes, evening McLaren. You are so going to eat those words, mate. I promise you. I'm here to shock this season. Is Apex side by side with Segal as he looks to make his way back through the field. And nicely done from the pair of them. Segal makes that... Apex makes that place up. And he will now see if he can get any further up the field. Although Segal's coming back at him. Down into turn 3, I think it is turn 3, no, turn 4. And Segal gets him back. Nicely done. I think you'll find, McLaren, this is what we're going to be in for on Wednesday. Yeah, I did too, man. I enjoyed it too, and yeah, I think I've taken a bit of a step forward through the off-season. I don't know why, because I'm not doing anything different, but my pace seems to have improved. I think it has, anyway. We'll find out. But it's hard to say. Segal defends, a bit moving about to be fair. That's that maybe. It's still manages to stay ahead. Corner positions really, really difficult. So if you weren't here in time, McLaren, we did start on the full wets. We had an early safety car at the end of lap 1. And side by side again for turns 1 and 2. Who's gonna appear in the lead? It looks like the Ferrari just. Let's turn on a fast turn. Oh, and there's the contact. Well, they've been battling for a long time, and it's happened eventually. But it's given a massive penalty to Segal. Did it give them both? I think it's given them both 10-second penalties for corner cutting. Rather harsh, but yeah, they had a superb battle. I hope they don't get arguing with each other about it, because they had a really, really good battle. It's just the conditions are tricky, and in the end, it's just fell apart. Here's Quell. As I said earlier on, clearly set up for these conditions. He served that dry fruit. Yes, well, they call it the great leveler, don't they, McLaren? It should bring a chance. But no, I was a bit faster towards the end of last season. But no, I think I've taken another step forward in the off-season. We'll see. We'll have to see. But I know what I'm doing in time trial, but I don't particularly... As the Friends leaderboard is broken at the moment, I don't particularly want to tell anyone, but it seems to be pretty quick. Let's just put it that way. No. I know I'm not as quick as I know I'm not as quick as you, Scar and Sainty, but the fact that I'm in the Ferrari might give me a chance. But so anyway, Quell gets through. He's up into P6, making his way back up the field. That was a big gap, if you remember. He's got that down from, I think it was about 8 seconds. So he's now going to be after Luge, who was his teammate. Now, you would have thought, because we said before the race, for the Constructors' Championship, this is a massive opportunity for Mercedes today. So you would have thought that if he catches onto the back of Luge, that Luge will let him go. Especially as Luge has got a penalty in a way. So, hopefully for Apex and Segal, those 10-second penalties can be removed. I really don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Segal's out. We've lost the Ferrari. There he is. That's down at the 2 left-handers. That's not going to cause the safety car. He's way off track. So it's just going to be a yellow flag until the marshals can clear the car, which they have now done. But that is Segal, unfortunately, out of the race. And the Mercedes are now next to each other on track. Now, surely Luge will move over. Well, is fast. He's got every opportunity of catching. Not just for tack ahead, he could still potentially get on the podium, Quell, so Luge really doesn't want to hold him up here. So, in the sprint race, that Quell had clearly... The sprint race was dry, and you could see he just didn't have the straight line speed to get... He finished second, he was behind first place all the way with DRS, but he just didn't have the straight line speed to do it. As soon as he come out of the toe in the dry, he was, you know, it nullified it, and he just didn't have the pace to get past. But once we realised that the full race was wet, it was obvious why he'd done it, and it was clear in the early stages that he definitely was the fastest man on track. Here he comes against his teammate. Why does his teammate not move? I don't get this. I'd be having words. Honestly, I'd be having words. I don't It's mad. You're costing your team points. Now, I don't know if there's anybody from the league actually watching the stream. Obviously, the other 6 divisions are all racing as well, so there's a lot to watch. All 7 divisions all race at the same time. The top division starts half an hour later. That's the only thing. The Division 1. Okay, McLaren. Thanks for jumping in, mate, and saying hi. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, buddy. So, Quell then finally does get out on top. And he will get after Vatak. And I honestly think that he can get Vatak. And then it's just whether he can take the 3.5 seconds out of Harry for him to be able to get onto the podium. So he's clearly the fastest man on track. There's no doubt about that. I feel a bit harsh on JT and NASCAR. We've barely seen them. But they are driving absolutely superb races, the pair of them. And, see, NASCAR is under a bit of pressure from Harry. Just around about a second behind, so it's not a massive amount of pressure. But since NASCAR got that place, Harry's not disappeared. Well, she's onto the back, but look, Luge is still with him. They've both caught onto the back of Attack. Maybe Quell getting past is sort of dragged Luge along with him, but Luge, of course, has the penalty. Oh, Luge, careful, what are you doing? Well, I don't know, is Luge a reserve driver? Stands right now, they're set up to gain 18 points. It can be more. Oh no, oh no, oh no, no, there's contact. Well, in my opinion, I think Luge has got to take responsibility for that. He won't do. If anybody is going to, it's going to be Quell, because he's the one that's hit for attack. But I mean, if I'm Quell, I'm having words with Luge after this race, saying, "What are you doing? I don't understand why he's attacking his teammate. He's got a penalty in a way. It's not as if he can actually get the position." Harry makes a move and he gets past NASCAR for P2. You'll see well then into P4. He's going to start chasing these guys. Straight line speed is hurting him a little bit here. I think as the track's dried a little bit, I think now he's starting to suffer a little bit, because Luge is very much able to stay on the back of him. So they are both starting to catch NASCAR now, so they've taken about 4 attempts in the last few corners. Including this one, there's 9 laps remaining, so there is time. They do need to catch, or Quell needs to catch, probably at the rate of around about 8 tenths a lap. That will put him half a second behind NASCAR after 5 laps, giving him a chance to actually make the move and get past. It's not going to be easy, of course, because NASCAR, of course, is attacking Harry, as we can see, because we're on board with NASCAR. So absolute last thing either of these drivers want to do is pick themselves up a penalty at this point. They'd be handing a position to Quell if they do that. JT, by the way, 6.4 seconds up the road. Absolutely blinding race for him. I mean, obviously his eyes would have lit up at the start. When P1 and P2 picks up drive-through penalties for jumping the start, his eyes would have lit up. He'd have known this was going to be a massive opportunity for a race win, and that's what he's doing. He's bringing it home very, very nicely indeed. So, NASCAR keeps attacking. The gap to Quell is down to 2.8. If you just about see a black speck in the background, but that is Quell. He is dragging his teammate Luge along with him. Obviously, Luge with that penalty. Quell sets fastest lap in his pursuit of NASCAR. The pace he's actually catching him, he's going to catch him even quicker than I suggested. I was talking about 8 tenths a lap, he's doing more. So the sooner he can catch, the more chances I guess he's going to get of getting back onto the podium. It'll be a superb result if he does. Watching from NASCAR here, you can really see how difficult it is. So, moment, it looks like any thoughts of us getting to a dry tyre before the end of this race is disappearing. Doesn't look, it is still raining. Not very, oh, actually from that it doesn't look like it's raining. No, it is raining. So it's not very heavy at all, but so I'm confident in saying that the track is drying up, but I just don't think it's going to dry up enough before the end not to warrant a pit stop in a way. We'll see. I've been wrong with that stuff before, so the inside once again on the hairpin. And on the outside, it's going to have the inside of the final corner. Nothing silly, boys. They've not looked like doing anything silly the whole race, to be honest, since they've been battling. So, on this occasion, NASCAR does get past then. A nice move from NASCAR. But look, Quell is on the back of them. He is within a second. And he has dragged Luge along with him. I don't mean as any offence to Luge, he's clearly got very, very good pace. I just mean that I think it's helped him having Quell in front of him to get a bit of a tow down the straights. Harry looks to battle back. Obviously, Harry doesn't want to be the car that's at risk from Quell. He obviously wants to put NASCAR in that position. Yeah, could do show. I think Luge's penalty will put paid to that. But there is Quell up the inside. We've got a good view of it from Harry's point of view. And I think he's just going to come under attack from Luge. Clearly the Mercedes have pace. For Luge, of course, it's going to... Oh, look at that huge weave from NASCAR. It was within the rules. It was one move, so he's stayed within the rules. He can move back to the left because... Well, wasn't alongside, but he doesn't move fully left. That's fine. And NASCAR holds off Quell on that particular occasion, but Quell is looking racy. On the back of him. Just be a bit careful, Quell. You don't want all the work to go to waste because you're trying to force anything here. The race wins out of sight. There's no need to even think about that. JT's pace, he's created a gap of basically 9 seconds because he is driving quickly. The fact he's got that gap probably means he's not driving flat out. Oh, and both Mercedes are gone. Well, off one side, Luge off the other. Both individual mistakes. That is unbelievable. And Luke Boy and Vatak both go past Luge and say thank you very much. Can you believe that? One Mercedes of Quell off to the left-hand side of our screen at exactly the same time. The other Mercedes of Luge off to the right-hand side of the screen. And that's the end of any thoughts of a podium for either of the Mercedes guys. 9 seconds the gap. Just need to concentrate on not losing anything else, to be honest with you. I think... That's mental. That is... Oh my goodness me, that's quite funny. I'm sure it's not that funny for them, but it was quite funny. It is big, because in terms of the constructors, that was huge. They're still on for really good points. Let's not take away from that. They are still on for, what, 18 points as it stands right now in 4th and 7th. But that was starting to shape up like... Well, for P2, Quell would have taken 18 points on his own. Plus Luge, so... Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Could not have had a better shot at that as well. I've only got something. Yeah, same here, Shaz. I would be as well. I'm not sure. I can only assume that Quell's just touched the inside curb and in these conditions. It's just dragged him into the inside, and whether it was the same for Luge going around the left-hander, I don't know, but both the inside curves are not very nice on that part of the track, so we return then to the battle between NASCAR and Harry. They're still battling for P2, and this is, I think, from what we've seen since they've been together on track, since the change to intermediates, looks like they may well stay together all the way to the line. JT out on his own at the front, 10.8 seconds in front now, and sets fastest lap. Really showing that certainly suggests that as Quell now sets fastest lap, but that certainly suggests from JT that fastest lap that he did set that. If somebody was to, you know, it's way too late now, but if somebody was to close him down, that you could probably move up another gear. Which is always the sign of a really good driver. Our actual drivers champion, of course, not here tonight. He won the championship last week. He's not turned up tonight, but that is Epic, of course. PRL, not PRL. I've forgotten the first part of his name, but Epic, not with us tonight. Clinched the title last week out in France. But hats off to these guys tonight. They put on a really good show. Despite only 13 on the grid, we lost 2 of the drivers right at the start. And Segal a bit later on. But despite low numbers and incredibly difficult conditions, they have put on a really good show for us. As we get a pit to set the slicks, we got a set of mediums, funny enough, going on Shotmaker's car. Then we assume we didn't have any softs available. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Shotmaker, I don't think we're far off those conditions. I think it's almost there. So I assume that's a move to try and take the fastest lap by going to slicks for the last lap of the race. That, funny enough, actually is Shotmaker just ahead of the slip. But, sorry, let's get back down to the battle. What am I doing? Listen, that a good battle just for that. 10th cannon in as well. It's an odd choice actually from 10th cannon to pit. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking there. He's going to softs. Yeah, could potentially take the fastest lap of the race, but well, luckily for him, Apex behind is pitted as well. Otherwise, Apex would have taken that position and he'd just thrown away a point, because even if he got fastest lap, it would have been given just 2 points away to Apex. But Apex pits as well, meaning that's completely mute in a way. These two, I have to give it to him. What a battle they've given us since the changes over to intermediates. I don't think any of these guys at the front are going to pit. I think they'll just continue on round. I don't think the track's evolved to that sort of point where we're going to lose gigantic amounts of time by staying on the inters. So that's... No, who is that? That's... Oh, it's Apex. Sorry, I thought for a moment that was JT, but... Oh! That's Shotmaker out from the medium tyres. I'm not going to be able to let you see him, but it's down out of the final corner. Presumably he'd be classified. So there's a little change around there. I think Vatak has gotten ahead of Luke Boy. So it's just... Looks like NASCAR is going to take the P2. So second gap now between them. But yeah, those guys that have gone to softs, but they're not actually gaining on the intermediate guys, so clearly the track not quite ready at this point. So looks like it's clearly close, because they're not losing any time, but they're not really gaining. Well, it's just gained a little bit of time through there actually. So of course this will be the hot lap in the attempt to pick up the fastest lap of the race point. But no, he's lost it back down again, looks, so clearly it's not ready, is it? So, anyway, to JT we go, who is going to take my driver today in this absolutely brilliant victory. He also sets fastest lap of the race with 1:43.1 on the final lap. NASCAR and Harry are going to bring it home in the second and third, respectively, in an absolutely superb battle between them. Harry nicks the fastest lap on the line, but Quell then nicks it back as well. He finishes P4 in the end for Mercedes. Vatak across the line in 5th. Luke Boy 6th. Luge in 7th. Then we've got the soft guys, but looking at he has pulled back about 6/10 now. So is that a sign that he could be heading towards the fastest lap? It's going to be Touch and go, I think. See that still spots of rain, isn't there? So it's not ideal. It's tight. It's tight. It's pretty close. So the line doesn't take it, but finishes P8. Apex is coming through to the final corner to finish the race. Well, the Game Awards driver of the day to Harry. I can't argue with that. Harry was absolutely brilliant, but for me personally, I think our winner, with the gap that he's created and the fact that I'm absolutely confident if he was put under some pressure, he could have stepped it up another gear. So our winner is my driver of the day. That's enough of the podium interviews. I don't really watch them anymore. Sorry, the podium celebrations, I meant. Right, let's get the top 3 in. We've already done the countdown. Unlucky to those who didn't manage to finish. Sorry, let's go to the results of the race. So I'm just going to try and get the top 3 in. I have said to them about podium interviews. They're all Xbox, so let's hope they join. Superb race in the end. I thought that was great fun. Oh, nobody joining. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's going to join, guys, for the podium interviews, which is a... Oh, hang on. Here's NASCAR. Oh, Hey, NASCAR, can you hear me? NASCAR? Hello? Well, not sure what's going on there. Alright, NASCAR, if you can hear me, there's nothing coming this side from you at all, so can't hear you at all. Don't worry about it, we'll leave it this week. But there we go. Anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you very much to those of you that watched live with me. Shaz, thank you very much. McLaren, who joined as well. Awesome, guys, thank you ever so much. Also to everybody that watches the stream back at a later point. Well over 100 views last week, so I was well pleased with that for a first week, so thank you very much. JT's joining now. Hello. Alright. Yeah, just include your audio, buddy. I was just about to wrap up because I said NASCAR's joined, but there's nothing coming through from him at all. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Oh, well. Okay, buddy, I'll just have a quick chat with you then. Obviously, congratulations on the victory, and also my driver of the day as well. So, comms driver of the day,
Oh,
because
jeez.
I thought you just drove brilliantly out the front. Sometimes we get out a lead like that, the concentration could go a little bit sometimes, but you
Yeah,
didn't show any little signs of that or anything like that. You just got on with it really and brought the victory home.
yeah,
Give us an idea of what the
got
race
kind of
was
lucky
like
to be
for
fair.
you.
Yeah, it was good to be fair. Like, I mean, from the get-go, Quell with Tenth Cannon got a drive through, so I was just like making sure I just stayed in front of fourth and just stayed behind them because I knew they had to go in pits. And yeah, I thought Quell was going to get disqualified because he said he wasn't going to pit, but then yeah, he ended up serving his drive through, and then yeah, it just went to wet. I didn't back myself in the wet, but to be fair, I was pulling away all the time, and then yeah, like Quell towards the end, he was like gaining like a second a lap, and I kept seeing his fastest laps were rapid, but thankfully he didn't like overtake quick enough to like end up making it close towards the end, and I just yeah just pulled away towards the end, and I was just hoping it didn't change, like so I had to pit for softs at the end because I was
Yeah.
the first one that would have to pit, and I didn't want to have to
It's
see people
yeah.
behind me pitting and like gaining, like 'cause I'm not really good at choosing when to pit, so I got lucky that I stayed on wet the whole race.
Yeah, it was clearly
Yeah,
starting to dry up at the end, but it
yeah,
was only the last sort of half of the final lap that somebody on softs actually started gaining on the car ahead. But yeah,
oh
so
yeah,
it
too late
didn't
in
really
there.
work. But yeah, no, fair enough. Harry, I'd love to invite. I don't suppose you got Harry, have you, that you could invite in?
No, I don't.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Nah.
I don't have him either, so don't worry about it, Harry. We'll leave it for this week. But yeah, other than that, mate, yeah, I mean, your eyes must have lit up a little bit at the start of the race to see the front two jump the start and get those drive-throughs.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Wasn't
imagine it'd
that?
been pretty quick that it must have gone through your mind that, wow, that does actually give me a really good chance to win this race.
Yeah, because the people that got first and second were so clear of me, like with quali pace, and I was just like, oh, they're probably just gonna pull away. But yeah, that was so lucky to be fair, because I bet you that person in first, whoever it was that got the drive through, made Quell get a drive through as well. Luckily enough, I didn't like fall for it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
so
yeah,
yeah, obviously you see the car move and then you react and it's like,
yeah, just
oh,
like
wow.
yeah,
But yeah, no, fair play. So let's say great victory. For yourself there, and and driver of the day for me as well. Harry, obviously you got the games driver of the day. Congratulations to you as well, buddy. The battle between yourself and NASCAR was absolutely superb, super clean, and great battling from both of you. Lots of overtaking of each other. So yeah, that was great. But other than that, yeah, it was difficult tonight. I think it was a never going to be easy, and we lost two drivers immediately from the feature race, so that's difficult. But yeah, fair play to all of you. I think you got through it pretty well. There's some really good battling, really good overtakes going on. And oh, Harry's just messaged me. That might enable me to invite him. Um, can I? Yeah, I can. There we go. Just get him in quickly, just for a quick chat, and then. So how long have you been in GLR then?
I joined this year, I think, and yeah, just started from now. I was in Div 7, then I quickly got moved up, like about 5 races into Div 6, and yeah, done quite bad at the start of Div 6, but started picking up recently, and then now, because like I didn't really feel like I had anything to play for, because I just felt it was long gone, but I'm up to second now, or think so. It's actually got something to race for. Race for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Right. What's why does NASCAR keep messaging me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Harry, you included your audio, bud?
I have indeed.
Yeah, excellent. JT's just left, so yeah, congratulations on the podium, buddy. From the moment where once everybody had gone to Winters, you and NASCAR were basically next to each other on track, and you had a great battle that just lasted right the way through to the end. Superb to watch, really clean from what I saw, and you both overtook each other a couple of times, I think. So yeah, fair play. Just give us an idea of what the race was like for yourself, man.
Yeah, well, the sprint didn't exactly go to plan. I don't know what happened on the sprint start, but it didn't seem like I had control, even though the manual start procedure was on.
Yeah.
Hence why I fell down the order a lot there.
I
Um,
think that was because the host got kicked right as it started,
yeah,
and so I think that probably messed it up. So, but yeah,
yeah, I knew the
just
manual starts was on, so I knew it wasn't anything anyone else could do.
yeah,
Just one of those things. Tried to make way through the field, got damage from luge, and just decided it'd be better to start at the back for the main race and carry on and probably not get any points in the sprint anyway, and being in the mid pack So then started last in the main race. I thought it was only going to be inters for maybe 15 laps and into dries for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
So the weather surprised me a lot. So I was on a pure dry setup, which
Right.
wasn't exactly ideal. It never went to dries.
Yeah. No, it's not ideal for when it's full wets. It's not so bad when it goes to winters, is it? But it's yeah, it's
Yeah, the inters I had a little bit more pace on, but yeah, the
yeah. I
wets
must. I
was
think Quell
main. So
sort
just
of knew what it was going to do because I think that's what I noticed in the dry in the sprint that he was a little bit slow on the straights. So I'm guessing he must have raised his his downforce to help with the wet for the feature. But yeah,
yeah.
it definitely looked difficult out
I
there. There's lots
saw
of
the
go on, yeah,
Yeah, I saw that he was a little bit slow in the straights, but he still had such insane pace. Especially when it came to the wet, he was a second a lap faster than me in the wet.
yeah,
Probably 1.5 in full wets, second in inters. Um, Obviously he's got the insane pace round here. Obviously helped by the setup as well. But yeah, just did the best that I could with the conditions and the setup that I had. Good battle with NASCAR throughout.
yeah,
Really respectful. Like I stuck my front wing in, then it was at turn one of the times, left the space at turn one. I think he did the same to me at the hairpin as well. At the end of the long straight, I just repaid the favour. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, just really nice, clean racing. We went side by side through the final corner twice,
Yeah, it's
which was
not
very
easy through
nice.
there. That was really, really good. And never even touched wheels. It was superb racing. So, fair play to both of you. And then of course there's this moment later on in the race where the two Mercedes catch up to you, and I mean you must have been dreading that a little bit. And then just all of a sudden I caught it perfectly on stream. What Quell in one Mercedes just goes off to the left hand side of my screen, and Lou's just behind, or two cars behind him, goes off to the right hand side of the screen, and they both go exactly the same time. Um, just incredible. But yeah, that would again a bit like the start for JT when he saw the front two pick up the drive-throughs. Your eyes must have just lit up again when the Mercedes disappeared like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, earlier on in the race, when it was just me, NASCAR, and J Till at the front, it was like, okay, I could have a daily podium here, but didn't want to say sort of anything out loud in case I jinxed it.
Yeah,
But Quell had such insane pace, caught up, overtook, and I thought maybe him and NASCAR might have a ding-dong battle, because it's always possible, especially in the tricky conditions that we were driving in. Luge, I was a little bit touchy about because of the sprint race.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, just eyes lit up. As soon as they went off, it was like, okay, just stay calm. This could be it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, congratulations, man. The game gave you the games driver today. I did give him a comms driver today to JT. But you both drove fantastic races, and NASCAR. You guys in the top three were absolutely superb. Quell, you had a great fight back, buddy. I see what you put in the chat there, and I don't disagree. Um, but yeah, it's just unlucky at the end there. But anyway, that's it for tonight. Then, do you know what track we're at next week?
Kota, from what people have been
Kota.
saying.
Ah, right. Is that a good one for you? Do you like Kota?
Probably won't be here next week,
Oh,
so
right.
I can't say.
Ah, right. Okay, fair enough. All right then. Well, we'll be back next week then, 8 p.m. next Monday for Kota, guys. See you then. Thanks very much to all those who watch live and anybody who's watches the stream back. I really appreciate it. As does the league as well. So thank you very much to all of you. And we'll see you same time next week. For myself, I will see you tomorrow night. For WAF1, so come and join me for that at 8 o'clock. Good night, God bless, and have a nice rest of the week.